Hello learners, welcome to the today's topic. Our today's topic is I am going to cover the data warehousing, its definition and relevant terminologies. Myself Priyanka Gupta, I am working as assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Data Science at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So in this today I am going to cover the data what is the data warehousing related definitions are there, important definitions are there, what is the important terminologies are there relevant to that. Let us start. So data warehouse, what is data warehouse? The data warehouse term that was the coined by the Bill Inman, that was the scientist in the 1990 year. So in which he have defined what is database, data warehouse. So basically a data warehouse in the words of Bill Inman, a data warehouse is a subject oriented, integrated, time variant, non-volatile collection of data of in support of management decision making process. So this is the definition has been given by Bill Inman. Now, a data warehouse can be called as a collection of data marts representing the historical data it is having from the different operations in the company. So that will be the data warehouse. This data will be stored in a structure optimized in for the querying process, analysis process as a data warehouse. So that is all about data warehouse. Now, a typical data warehouse often includes the following in elements. So, what are the elements in a particular one data warehouse can be common? There will be a relational database that is going to store and process and manage the data. That is historical data. There will be the ETL, that is extraction, loading and transformation solution for the preparing the data for to do the data analysis, right? Third will be the statistical analysis, reporting of data and data mining capability. Data mining algorithm will be applied here. Next will be the client analysis tools. So that will be used by the end users as a client tools for visualizing and going to represent that data to the business users. Other will be the more sophisticated analytical application that generates the explainable information by going to apply the data science as well as the AI techniques for and the algorithm, we can say graph and spatial features that is going to enable more good kinds of data for the analysis at any larger level. So these are the few points can be there, for few elements are there for the one data warehouse that will be present there. Now, what is the characteristic of data warehouse? So, 4 unique characteristics are there described by computer scientist William Inman. So, he is the second scientist who is considered as a father of data warehouse. Now, he is going to allow data warehouses to deliver overreaching benefit. So, according to this definition, data warehouses are subject oriented. So they can analyze the data about a particular subject as well as for a functional area. We can say if function is to comes under the sales, so that will be the particular subject. Like this, that will be the data will be the subject oriented. How we have seen in the data mart, the domain specific data will be there. So like this, we can understand what is subject oriented. So that one particular type of data will be there as a functional area in the data warehouse. Second is integrated. Integrated data warehouses create the consistency among the different type of data. Data types can be there, different type of data can be there, right? From the different type of sources. So there will be the consistency to have the relationship between them. So for that data will be integrated, that can be transformed, that can be changed. So on the basis of the our use, the data can be manipulated. So that all data will be integrated. Third is non-volatile. So non-volatile, the property function is non-volatile. So once the data will be in there stored in the data warehouse, it is going to be stable. It will not change. The data will be same forever. So the data will be non-volatile. Time variant. Time variant, why we are calling time variant? So the data warehouse analysis looks at change over the time. So while the data is related to the business processes, so the data they are using for the future analysis, right? For the 2022, next year they will using for the data for the 2023. So on the basis of these, the time variant data will be changed according to the need of the business purposes. Now, how the data warehouse going to work? How data warehouse work? So a data warehouse works as a central repository for where the information is arriving from a one or more of the data sources. So the data flow into them from a transactional system can be there, or from the relational databases can be there. So in all the sources, the data is coming at a central repository, that is data warehouse. So what type of data can be there? The data may be there for in the form of structured, semi-structured and unstructured. So three type of data can be there. The data will be processed after that, that will be changed, transformed after that, and then will be ingested, so that the user can access the processed data. What is the data he can able to use as a he is going to see about the future trends. So in the data warehouse, through the business intelligence tools, on the basis of SQL clients, spreadsheets, so these are the few tools are there. On the basis of that, the process data the end users can use. Now a data warehouse that is going to merge the information coming from the different sources into a one comprehensive database. So these are the few functions will be there as a common. By merging all of this information at one place, an organization can analyze the customer more holistically. So that is the use of data warehouse. This is going to help to ensure that it has considered all the information available at one place, at central place. Data warehousing is going to make the data mining possible. So after the data warehousing will be taken place, then we can do the data mining on that we can apply the some of the data mining methods on that historical data, so we can see the what is the future trend is there, that will come as a data mining techniques. So the data mining is looking for the patterns in the data that may lead to higher sales and as well as the profit of the future. So what is types of data warehouse? So three types of data warehouses are there, main types of there: enterprise data warehouse, operational data warehouse, and third is data mart. Enterprise data warehouse is a centralized data warehouse. It provides a decision support services across the enterprise. So for a company, for our organization, a small scale company, industry, the DW will be carried out in the form of data warehouse. So it is going to give the decision support facility. It is going to offer a unified approach for organizing and representing the data in the form of visualization. It also going to provide the ability to classify the data according to their need, according to the subject, and given the access according to the what is the decisions of there, what are the divisions are there. So then it will be easy to take the decision for them. Second is operational data store. It which is called as a ODS, that is nothing but the data store. It is going to require when neither the data warehouse nor the OLTP systems is going to support the organization. So that they have the data that is going to use that is having the in the form of operations. So the data, the organizations that is having the reporting needs in ODS, the data warehouse is refreshed in real time. So this all data will be available as a operational data. We can say the financial data that is having the type of operational data store. So that all the things will be work on real time, and that will be refreshed also by the time. So it is widely preferred to routine activities like storing records of the employees also. So this is the one two examples of there of what is operational data store. Data mart. So data mart, is nothing but that is a subset of data warehouse. That is a small domain specific subset of data warehouse that is going to specially designed for a particular line of business, that is having the sales, finance. In an independent data mart, data can be collected differently from the directly from the sources. So all the type of data in the small data warehouses, that is data mart, will be stored. So in this figure we can see in the data warehouse there is a warehouse. This is a data warehouse. There have been the metadata, summary data, and raw data. In the right hand side, in the left hand side, we can see the data sources. So these are the operational data, that is having the real time data, as well as the flat files and other data. In the third, we can have the from this warehouse we can have the domain specific data warehouse, that is nothing but the data marts on the basis of purchasing, sales, and inventory. After that, we can see we can do the analysis, reporting, and mining. So that like this, these are the three form of data warehouses. Do I need a data lake? One term is there also, data lake. So organization use both the data lakes and as well as the data warehouses for the large volume of data from the business different sources. So data lakes is nothing but that is going to store an abundance of disparate, unfiltered data to be used later for a specific purpose. So the data from line of business applications, mobile applications, social media, IoT devices, and many more captured as a raw data in the data lake. So that will be called as a data lake. The structure, integrity, selection, and format of the various data sets will be derived in the time of analysis by the person doing the analysis. So all the raw data will be stored in the form of data lake. When the organization they need the low cost storage for the unstructured data, so they need the data lake. So from the multiple sources that they intend to use for some purpose in the future, so they can go for the data lake also. That will be the right choice for them. So either they don't have to go for the costly things, that is data warehousing, so they can use the data lakes also. Data warehouse architecture. Data warehouse architecture is nothing how all the process, all the tires will go on, that will be come in under the architecture. What is the structural architecture is there? So usually the data warehouse architecture comprises a 3-tier architecture. The first tier is bottom tier, second is middle tier, a third is top tier. So bottom tier, we can say data warehouse servers usually represent a RDBMS, relational database management. Back-end tools are going to use the cleaning the data, transforming the data, and the feeding the data into this layer. So all these type of process will come under the bottom layer. Middle layer, in the middle layer represents the OLAP server. So that can be implemented into 2 ways. So 2 types of OLAP server will be there. That is, first is ROLAP, the relational OLAP model. That will be extended relational database management system that is going to map the multi-dimensional data, process to standard relational data. So the first OLAP server will be they can be have the relational OLAP server. Second will be the MOLAP server. So the MOLAP, a multi-dimensional OLAP, directly acts on multi-dimensional data and operations. So in that ROLAP, all type of data can be there that is related to relational as well as the multi-dimensional. But in multi-dimensional OLAP, only multi-dimensional data will be carried forward. In the top layer, this is the front end client interface. In that is going to get the data out from the data warehouse. It is going to hold various tools like query, reporting tools, analyzing tools, data mining tools. So all of the functioning, all of the we can say methodology will be used at the top layer to do the data analysis for the end user, for the business users. So in the right hand side, that there is a data warehouse architecture. In that we can understand this is the bottom layer, that is the data warehouse server. This is the middle tier, that is OLAP server, that is having the OLAP server. In the top tier that is having the front end tools. In the bottom layer, there will have the first, the data will be stored at a one place, from the different external sources, from the operational sources, from the external sources. That after that, the ETL process will go on, extract, cleaning, and for transformation, that it will be load, and that is going to refresh the data. And then the data warehouse, that all the data will be stored in the form of data marts, metadata repository, data warehouse, etc. So all the data will go on here. Again, it will be have the multi-dimensional view of data in the form of OLAP servers. There all the OLAP operation will be carried out in this phase. Then in the output phase, all the reporting, analysis, and querying all will be taken care at the top layer, that is the top tier front end, by the using the front end tools by the end users clients. So ETL process in data warehouse. ETL is the process in data warehouse that is stands for extract, transform, and load. So it is the process in which the ETL tools is going to extract the data from various data sources. It is going to transform it into the staging area. So there were the one staging area there in the architecture also. In that staging area, that is going to load the data. What is the correct data is there after transforming the data. So it is going to finally load the data into the data warehouse system. In this figure, we can see the extract, transformation, and load process. The RDMS data, the SQL related data, the flat files, all the external sources data will be that will be go further. That will be the extraction of data, what type of data is there. Then it will be go into the staging area, that is the transformation of data in the one form, and then it is going to load into the data warehouse after all the changes. So benefits of data warehouse. What is the benefit of using the data warehousing? Data warehouse are designed to perform the all the aggregate queries running on the large amount of data. So that is a one benefit of data warehousing. The structure of data warehouse is easier to understand for the end users. They can understand, they can have the query, they can have the naive people also, they can have the understanding of data on the by using the client tools. So on the relational database were designed to handle the lots of transactions. So that in the data warehouse there is nothing like that. Earlier it is they have to write the some long syntaxes to have the result of that, but in data warehouse the end users, they have to click on some software for as a tools that is having the client tools. On the basis of that, they can have the visual representation to understand the data. The data warehouse enables the query that is cut across different segments of the company operations. So, for example, the production data could be compared against the inventory data, even if they are originally stored into the different places with the different structures. So, that is a robustest nature of that particular data warehouse. All type of data can be taken place at a one, and they can write the end users, they can write the queries for that. So next benefit is of data warehousing is queries that would be complex in the nature, that will be having the normalized data set databases that could be easier to build here in the data warehousing, that will be maintaining in the data warehouse, that is also decreasing the workload for the humans, for the users. So that is a benefit of data warehousing. Next benefit is data warehousing is an efficient way to manage and reporting the data. So they can have the data from the various sources, non-uniformed and unscattered data, any form of data that will be throughout a company. They can have they can manage the data, they can have the report of that data. So that is a benefit of data warehousing. Data warehousing is an efficient way to manage the lots of information from the lots of users. So that is a big benefit while we are using the big large amount of data from the larger users. So many users will be there. So lots of data will be there as a at a one place as a data warehouse. Data warehouse provides the capability to analyze the large amount of historical data for nuggets who don't know of which term that can provide an organization with a competitive example. Suppose a person don't know, they don't have the managerial skills, they are from the engineering background, they can have the like a compact view of that particular data, that is the larger data. So the nuggets of wisdom can be taken care from that particular data warehousing. Next, general stages of the data warehouse. What are the stages of that? Earlier, the organization there started relatively simple use of data warehousing, right? However, over the time, nowadays, more sophisticated use of data warehousing is going to begin, because all the companies, all the we can say e-commerce companies, they are using the network data, they are using the online data, they are using the real-time data, they are having the competition. So all the data has been obviously that has been more in the nature, that is stored as a more in the nature. So the following are the general stages of use of the data warehouse can be. First, offline operational database. In this stage, the data is just copied from a operational database system to the another server. In this way, loading, processing and reporting of the copied data don't impact the operational system's performance. So this is the only way to store the data at one place to other place. Second, that will be the offline data warehouse. So in that, the data in data warehouse is regularly updated from the operational database. So here the change taken place, all the data will be changed, all the data will be transformed here. So the data warehouse will be mapped and transformed to meet the data warehouse objectives here. Now, real-time data warehouse. In this stage, all the operational data will be updated whether any transaction is going to take place over the time. For example, if airline booking system is there, railway booking system is there, so that will work over the time. So that will be updated regularly at a interval. Integrated data warehouse. In this stage, the data warehouse will be uploaded continuously where the data operational data warehouse performing a transaction, right? So the data warehouse then is going to generate transactions which are passed back to the operational system. So in the integrated data warehouse, the data will be continuously, that is going to update the operational systems. Components of data warehouse. What are the components of data warehouse? There can be. So there are four important component of a data warehouse. There, load manager. Load manager is also called as a front component. So it is going to perform with all the operations associated with the extraction, loading of data into the data warehouse. These all operations include the transformation of the data to preparing the data for storing into the data warehouse. Warehouse manager performing the operations that is associated with the management of data in the warehouse. It is going to perform the operations like analysis of data to ensure about how consistent the data is, creation of indexes, all the things, all the generalization, denormalization, aggregation, transformation, merging of source data, archivation of all data. So all will be taken care of in this stage. Query manager is nothing but that is also called as a backend component. So it performs all the operations of related to the management of the user query. So this operation of this data warehouse component is going to direct a query to the appropriate tables for the scheduling of execution of related queries for the end users. End user access tools. So this is categorized into the 5 different forms, groups. So first is data reporting. So the end user, they can have able to see the all the data in the form of report. That will be the first. Second will be the EIS tool. So in the with the use of EIS tool, they will be able to see the some of the we can say related patterns. OLAP tools. Using OLAP tools, they will be able to see the logical view of the data. What is the a different view of data with the using of dimension, how beautifully the data can be carried out from that particular multi-dimensional data. Fourth will be the data mining tools. On the basis of data mining tools also, they will be able to see the patterns, beautiful patterns. Another will be the application development tools. So they can also use the application development tools in the while they are using to we can say integrate the data. Who are going to need that data warehouse? So data warehouse is needed for all types of users. So how many users can be there? First, decision makers. So the decision makers who are going to rely on the mass amount of data, large amount of data. So that will be the first type of user. The users who is going to customize, who have to complex processes to obtain the information from the multiple data sources. So that type of users will also need the data warehouse. Third type of data people, that is who wants the simple technology to access the data. So those type of data will be also there for to need the data warehouse. Fourth type of users, those people who want a systematic approach for making any type of decision for their businesses. So that type of users, they will also have the need to build the data warehouse, implement a data warehouse for their organization. If the user wants fast performance on a huge amount of data, which is necessary for report, grids and charts, for the those type of people will also be there for the for to use the data warehouse. The data warehouse is the first step if you want to discover the hidden pattern or data flow and groupings. So now I'll tell about what is the simple step, what is the implementation of data warehouse. So the best way to address the business risk associated with the data warehouse implementation, it is having the three stages. So first stage will be the enterprise strategy. In that, here we have to identify the technical including the current architecture and tools. So we also identify the facts, what is the dimension is there, what are the attributes are there. So data mapping and transformation will also be carried forward here in the enterprise strategy. Second will be the phase delivery. So data warehouse implementation should be phased based on the subject area, based on the domain area. So related business entities like booking and billing should be first implemented and then integrated with each other. So like related to the domain area specific data warehouses, that implementation will be taken care of in the phased delivery. Third is iterative prototyping. In this, rather than a big bang approach will be taken care for implementation, the data warehouse should be developed and tested iteratively. So again and again the data warehouse will be tested and that will be developed. So here are the key steps in data warehouse implementation and its deliverable. So what is the step and what is the task and deliverable? So first task is need to define a project scope. So that will be the scope definition. Need to determine the business need for the logical data model. Define the operational data store requirement. The output will be there as a operational data store model. Acquire or develop extraction tools, and that will have after that we will go have the extract tools and software. Define data warehouse data requirements, that we will get the transition data model. Document missing data, that will do project list. To do project list, in which we have to again and again fill that data, we have to apply some of the smoothing technologies are there. Next is maps operational data store to data warehouse. In that we will need the data warehouse data integration maps. Develop data warehouse database design. Database design we will get. Extract data from the operational data store. Integrated data warehouse data extract we will get. Load data warehouse. In that, initial loading of data will be taken care. Maintain the data warehouse, ongoing data access and subsequent loads will be there, and some of the maintenance tool will be carried forward there. So that was the implementation phase of the data warehousing. Now, why we need the data warehouse? What is the advantages of data warehouse? So data warehouse basically allow the users, business users, to quickly access the critical data from some source all in one place. So many places data will be there. At the one place we can have the all data, and the business users, they will have the quickly access of that critical data. Data warehouse that is going to provide the consistent information from the various cross-functional activity. Data warehouse help to integrate the many sources data to reduce the storage. Data warehouse that is going to help to reduce the total turnaround time for the analysis as well as for the reporting of the for the end users. Um, the restructuring and integration of data that is making easier for the users the use of reporting and analysis. Data warehouses also allow users to critical access the critical data from the number of sources at a single place, data, so that it is also saving the time. Data warehouse is storing a large amount of historical data, so this helps the users to analyze the different time period and trends, that they can have the future predictions over that. So what is the disadvantages of data warehouse? Not any ideal option for the unstructured data will be there. Then only the there will be the disadvantages of data warehouse. Creation of and implementation of data warehouse is having the time consuming affairs, that is having the 1 year to 6 month period while to implement that data warehouse. Data warehouse can be updated, outdated relatively quickly. So now we are using the data warehouse, and what time it will be outdated, we don't know. Difficult to make changes in data types and ranges, data sources. So there will be have the actually different type of data types, data. So we will not, that will be difficulty to change the form of the data into the one other place. That will be the data sources, schema, indexes, and query. The data warehouse may seem easy, but actually it is so difficult, too complex for to average users. So we should have the good users, we should have the knowledgeable users, so that we can use the data warehouse. Despite best efforts at a project management, the data warehousing project scope also every time it is going to increase. Sometimes data warehouse users is going to develop the different business rules. So there is no particular one type of rules they have. They can change the rules by the time. Organization need to spend lots of their resources for the training and implementation phases of that data warehouse. So this was the disadvantages of data warehouse. So that was all about the data warehouse terminology and definition of the data warehousing. That thank you for watching.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.